What's up? Whoa, that was a crazy, crazy, crazy full moon. My goodness. I mean, I could already see the mind going a bit cuckoo just before the full moon. But then on the night of the full moon, I felt fine. And I think a day after, it was still okay. And then all hell broke loose. And now when I say all hell broke loose, I mean all hell broke loose. My body started to hurt. I couldn't sleep. I was tossing and turning. You know, my shoulders, it felt like someone was just squeezing it like really tight. You know, well, I wanted affection, but not that sort of affection. Um, and my stomach, like it was just like a rock. Maybe I should be careful and not say how I wish I knew what it was like to be pregnant, because that was really not that was not a good feeling. So the thing is, it's like my mind just went into this huge, like, unworthiness, not good enough, like I'm not doing the right things. I'm like all these noise as usual. And I tried to exercise, and I tried to like meditate. I tried to do my mudra meditation, and I just kept feeling worse. And yeah, it was agony. It was so painful. But then, and I'll be honest, I was freaking out. Because the last time I felt that sort of pain and agony, I think was 4 years ago. And this was just before I had like well, I can't remember how many breakdowns, but I think the worst breakdown I had, and this was just before I went to volunteer at a rehab center. And I remember at that point was when I was like, I'm about to kill myself. Like I don't know what to do with my life anymore. So I'm not saying I felt like that this time, but it reminded me of that, and it freaked me out. It freaked me the fuck out, because I was like, all this work that I've done and I'm back here again. But then I was like, no, wait a minute, maybe this is just the fear creeping up again. So I had to remind myself. I was like, okay, 4 years ago when this happened, yes, I felt like all hope was lost, but that was like the final fall before the ascension, almost like before things started to take off and become really good. So I found comfort in sort of telling myself, like, okay, you know what, this can only mean things are about to get really good for you. But first, I need to understand, why is my body still reacting this way. um so I got a massage, and during the massage, um oh no, before that, there was a time when I was in so much agony and pain, when I couldn't sleep. I saw like this smoke, this purple dark smoke, and I couldn't make sense of it. I really didn't know what it was. But then 2 days later, when I had a massage, I started to realize, like, okay, so the pain is coming more focused, like in my root chakra area and in my throat chakra, because it's like the lower stomach, the legs, the shoulders. I'm like, so what is this fear that I'm still holding on to? The fear of speaking freely, the fear of speaking my truth. I know I'm very open, and I do a lot of talks and stuff. But then I came to realize, like, yeah, sometimes I do censor myself. I do censor things that I really want to talk about, because there's this fear of, like, oh, what would happen? Not so much about um, um okay, the fear was more like, because in Malaysia, you have to be very careful of what you say. You know, you can't say anything, you can't really speak your mind about religion, you can't speak your mind about the way the politics are going, because straight away either you get thrown in jail, or if you're Muslim, you fall under Sharia law. So you know, it's a very trapped thing. And then I sort of realized, because someone asked me, a friend in the UK asked, "Have you ever considered asylum?" And I was like, "Why is this being brought to my attention?" And then that's how the realization came, really, about like why I fear, or why I censor myself to talk sometimes. Because yeah, it's this fear of like, if I say the wrong thing, will I be thrown in jail? But then I'm like, wait, no, as long as you speak your truth, there will always be a way for you to stay safe. There's always options. You know, I'm not saying I'm going to seek asylum, but like, what I'm going to do is just really be free with my sharings and my thoughts, because again, I'm not trying to offend. I'm not trying to disrupt. What I'm trying to do is to make people sort of think about things, you know, and to like question things, to not just believe in what everyone tells them. You know, it's like, at least think about it and be brave enough to question things the way they are. Yeah, it was interesting. I was watching this interview with David Letterman and Dave Chappelle, and it was about Dave Chappelle being Muslim, and they were, and you know, asking him like, oh, how did you pick up Muslim, la la la. You know, it was all nice. It was like, yeah, it's a peaceful religion. The people are really passionate about the religion. I'm like, yeah, yeah, I see that. I understand that. Yeah, it's a peaceful religion. You know, in its essence, just to be clear, in its essence, it's a peaceful religion. But you know, the people who are practicing, not so peaceful. And then they started talking about the ZamZam well, or I ZamZam. You know, it's a well that is ever flowing with healing water. It never runs out. And then it got me thinking, it's like, do you know how many people are don't have access to clean water? Why are we not giving this water to people who really need it? Why are we giving it to people? Like, example, if you see like the pilgrims who come back from Hajj and stuff, or Umrah, when they come back from Saudi, they bring gallons of this water, but they have access to clean water. You know, and if you want to say like, oh, because it has healing properties, I've seen so many ways where you can just take normal clean water, recite something, and it becomes healing water as well. You don't really need gallons of this air zamzam. This again, this is just my point of view. It's me thinking. It's like, why not use all that water to help people who really need it? You know, and you see, this is the funny thing. I don't, you know, I would have always like thought twice about speaking publicly about things like this. But then it's like, because in the fear of like it'll be taken as anti-Islam or whatever, I'm not. I really am not. But I'm just saying, it's like, why are we not helping one another? Why are we still separating ourselves? Just because someone has a different religion, does that mean their suffering is not as important? Or that their suffering is invalid? You know, I mean, I'm not stressing myself out over it, but I'm just thinking, you know, just freely speaking and thinking. But anyways, back to this whole fear base and pain. You know, it's like, you know, I suddenly realized like it was just that 3 days of like, I want to kill myself, but then now I feel fine. I feel great. You know, so I think what I want to say is, it's like, if you suffer during the full moon, you know, you get body aches. Again, this is a clear sign your body is trying to bring something to your attention. It's trying to let you know something. The best thing is for you is to just sit with it and ask, like, where is it coming from? So again, like for me, I'm someone who sees things, so I see colors, I see images. So, you know, but it takes me a while to decipher things, because you know the mind's always there. So you know, like, when you sit in meditation, see what comes up in your mind. See the images. What does it mean to you? Like, how can you bring balance back into your life? How can you bring balance into your mind, body, and soul? How can you relax the body? How can you um, calm the mind down? Because it's the mind that goes into the fear, especially if you come from a traumatic past or you've dealt with abuse, with narcissism. You know, the mind goes into like the like I've always said it, the four F's, you know, flight, freeze, you know. So it's really sitting with yourself and like ask yourself, why is this coming up again? What is the root cause of this? You know, figure it out and then deal with it. So, and also the other thing is, if you fear something, ask yourself, why do you fear it? And if the fear is still there, then look at ways of how can you overcome this fear. Like I said, for me personally, it was about being free with things I want to say, but always fearing being thrown in jail because of Sharia law. But if it ever came down to that, there is options to save yourself. And it's the same with you guys. It's like, I'm not saying, you know, whatever your thing is, whatever your fear is, understand that there is always a solution to the problem. There is always, and if you speak your truth, the universe will always give you ways to protect yourself. You need to trust that. You need to believe that. So yeah, getting excited for this expansion, you know, because like I said, the last time I felt like that was 4 years ago. So it was the big drop before the big rise. So now I'm just thinking like, another shift is about to happen on the 21st of December, the Great Conjunction. Big changes are coming. But with big changes, you know, new adventures, new territory, new experiences. So ask yourself, do you still want to bring fear, like limiting beliefs, into your new journey? You can, but then it won't really be a new experience. You'll just be repeating the same pattern again. So yeah, have a great week.